Hold on, give me a second. Actually, you guys can keep talking for a little bit. I have to post it on Instagram and Twitter real quick first before we get started.
Go for it.
No.
But yeah, here while we're still going, because Tommy, you do content, don't you?
Here and there, I don't really post as much, but
Okay. I would highly advise you to start. I think that you already do wrestling content with us, but if you started posting more of your long formed ideas that we're trimming down on here on your own platform, on your own account, you'd start getting people to listen. And a cool thing you can do is tag Snug Wrestling. Make sure that you put it in your bio, because like what I did was I actually started changing it. So on my handles now, on my profile, I've actually put Snug Wrestling in my bio. So when people go, they go, "Oh, what's that?" So, oh wait, it's not there right now, but it says Pro Wrestling Podcaster. But whenever I do wrestling content now, I hashtag Snug Wrestling, and when I do my text tile for the video, those are very important. By the way, if you didn't know, when you type the text on your video, that actually plugs the video to the actual For You page in search. So whenever your video gets enough views, if you go back to a video, you ever seen like in a video you're looking at and then under the search bar is something relevant to the video?
yeah.
That's because of the writing on the screen.
Bro.
Yeah. So if you do that, you do like a, hey man, my top favorite 5 wrestling matches of all time. You write that up there. Number 1, here's mine. You go through all your ideas. It's going to go search bar wrestling or WWE or Jay Uso punches Gunther in the face clip, and it'll automatically link to a more popular search. So I would advise you start doing wrestling content on your channel, because then not only does that drive up your engagement, but it'll bring more followers when you hop on here. And that's a
Right.
big thing. So it helps the podcast too. But if you do
Right.
wrestling content under your tile, do and follow us at Snug Wrestling. And then in the video, go, thank guys for hanging out. Follow us at Snug Wrestling, because that brings Ed followers. And then you can go every Monday and Friday night after Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. We go live everywhere, wherever you get your podcast. Plug it, plug it, plug it, plug it. It helps you, it helps him, and then it's a nice symbiosis.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go. Yeah, ready?
No worries.
All right, you guys, it's time again for another episode of Snug Wrestling. This time, we're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw. This is the Raw after Saturday night's main event. They were in Tampa, Florida, and there was a lot of things that I was looking forward to the show that I needed answers to after what we saw with specifically Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman. I was really interested to see how this was gonna play on tonight on Monday Night Raw. So we're gonna talk about that and some of the other important things that we saw tonight. But first, how you guys doing, man? It's been a while since we last spoke, a whole 24 hours.
Doing really good, man. We came off a really nice, hot Saturday night's main event. By the way, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, make sure the podcast review of Saturday night's main event is out. So make sure you follow Snug at Snug Wrestling and check that out on our Instagram channel. But it's been great. Good night for wrestling. Great weekend for wrestling, actually, all across the board.
Yeah.
From AEW all the way to WWE to NXT, man. So
Yeah, especially
I'm
for
doing.
good old Trick Willie.
Oh, yep. I'm doing very well personally. My sister's birthday is tomorrow. She's turning 17 and is about to graduate from high school at the end of the year. So I'm very excited about that. And I may be a criminal for this, but down in Australia, we have the National Rugby League, the NRL. Tomorrow will be the State of Origin match, Game 1, Queensland versus New South Wales. I'm a Queenslander, even though I'm wearing a Sonic shirt, and that basically is a blue shirt. But I can't wait for tomorrow, bro.
No toxic tonight, huh?
Yeah. And for all of our American listeners, welcome to the Memorial Day episode of the Snug Wrestling Podcast.
Yes, it is Memorial Day. Had the day off today too, so that was cool. I got a long weekend, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling energized, and I'm ready to talk about this show. Y'all ready to get into it? All right, let's get started with the opening segment. Was Seth Rollins coming out with he was rolling deep tonight with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman. And one of the things that drove me insane was Pat McAfee comparing this to the Shield. Seth Rollins, he's been known to back himself up with a lot of talent like the Shield, and I'm like, I gave Blood a lot of shit when he was trying to compare this to Evolution, and I'm like, no, stop it. Stop comparing it to old shit. No. But here comes Pat McAfee comparing it to old shit like always. But yeah, man, this opening segment had a lot of stuff to unpack because Paul Heyman put over Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker like he usually does. Paul Heyman being the mouthpiece that he is, he reminded everyone about the feud that he had with Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins. Do you guys remember that? Because for a minute, I completely forgot these two were going at it for quite some time, but now they're in this same group. And Paul Heyman put a lot of heat on Seth Rollins to the point where the fans went from singing Seth Rollins' theme song to booing Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins even got "You Sold Out" chants. And I think this is the beginning of the people are going to start to turn more and more on Seth Rollins. And it was all because of Paul Heyman and the shit that he said. Acknowledge Seth Rollins. And, when it comes to Roman Reigns, the people, they're not going to allow anybody to disrespect Roman Reigns. But yeah, Seth Rollins, he called his shot at Money in the Bank. He wants all the power. And how is he going to get that power? I'm going to get that Money in the Bank briefcase. So that was the opening segment. Mr. Blood, how are you feeling seeing this new group together? What did you think about all this? And anything that I missed?
No. So as far as concerned, great way to open the show. Strong, showcasing that brand new stable of Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, and a Hall of Famer in Paul Heyman. I think that this is awesome. I think it's an intelligent idea, because sometimes you can open the show with the champion, you can open it with a match, or you can open it with the promo angle that's selling the way that the show essentially went off air. And what I think is really cool about all of this is that when you look at them, they look like a threat, man. They look like a legitimate threat. And that is what you want out of, in my opinion, probably outside of the World Heavyweight Championship. This is just important as the world title picture because the world champion is involved in it. So even though we normally have that WrestleMania lull, there's a lull period right after Mania from like April all the way to like June or July every single year. It's kind of just a known thing at this point that WWE just goes into a lazy holding pattern at that point of time. This is them going, okay, holding pattern over. We're starting to cook now because we're on our way to Money in the Bank. We're on our way to freaking Night of Champions and this and that and SummerSlam 2 nights this year. So I think this was smart. I love that they heavily put over the young guys here. Bronson and Braun getting put over massively. Major important thing to do here. Make them seem legitimate, even at Seth's expense, where Seth didn't even seem despondent about the fact that he was like, Bronson crushed Seth, beat him within an inch of his life. Like Seth was like, he did. That's exactly why he's here. So I loved it. I think it's a perfect way to set these guys up, introduce Bronson, and really, really, really sell that. Who the hell are you going to throw together to beat these guys? I love it.
I'm with him. These guys look completely dangerous. I also love the fact that Breaker's over here literally looking like the Terminator. Like outfit, sunglasses, everything. It just gave full-blown Terminator. And Heyman did mention that right as the zoom in happened on Braun Breaker. He literally called him the Terminator. He said if Skynet ever sent in a Terminator, it would be Braun Breaker. And honestly, at this rate, I have to agree with him. I truly do. I have to agree with him because of the fact that Braun Breaker is just so dangerous. He truly is. And when it comes to Big Bronson Reed, I will say this: Heyman put him over. He truly did. He looked at that and he's just like, "No, what? Yeah, I'm just gonna spit facts here. I'm just gonna say it how it is. There was a feud with Rollins. This is just what happened." Imagine trying to get through him in one night, knowing the fact that he smashed him into the concrete. Just imagine trying to get through him. Just doing all of this and trying to get him done within one night. Good luck is basically what Heyman was saying.
I loved this segment with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. They are mic gods. There's been a debate that's gone around recently, Seth Rollins versus Will Ospreay, who is better on the mic. Seth Rollins all the way for me, and this fully proves it. Seth knows how to control his vocal cords when it comes to proving a point and devising a plan. And I absolutely love that, especially as the menacing heel that he has become. I really hope somewhere in the future when they push him to that limit, he becomes more of the Monday Night Messiah. I really hope so. But that's a big ask. But for right now, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker look fucking handsome in those suits. They look fucking good in those suits. Way better than the Secret Service ever will be. But as far as it's concerned, really good segment overall. Yeah. I love Seth and this new this new group that is being formed. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys, let's move on to the first opening match. Was another triple threat match, a qualifying match for the Money in the Bank, and it was Penta versus Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable. Now, whenever I think of Penta being involved in a ladder match, I get fucking like flashbacks, bad flashbacks when he did ladder matches in AEW and they would fucking go all out and fucking people's legs were getting snapped in half and all kinds of shit. So I was like, oh, if Penta wins, man, it's going to be a crazy ass match. But Chad Gable was in this match, and Chad Gable, he's already scheduled to have a match versus Hijo del Vikingo the night before Money in the Bank. So if Chad Gable were to win this one, Chad Gable's basically going to have his hands full. He would wrestle 2 days in a row at Worlds Collide and then Money in the Bank. However, after a crazy triple threat match, Penta and Dragon Lee, man, pretty much worked together versus Chad Gable. Poor Chad Gable. I felt so bad for him. Like after him expressing how much he hates Lucha Libre and luchadors, they put him in the ring versus two of the best luchadors in WWE, and I was thinking, oh God, poor my boy. They did my boy Chad Gable dirty, but Penta, he ended up coming out on top because of Hijo del Vikingo, who was ringside. He got his hands dirty in this match, but it's a triple threat, no rules, anything goes. He did it in front of the ref. The ref couldn't do nothing. Penta took advantage, and Penta is advancing in the Money in the Bank. Thoughts on this, fellas? Tommy, I believe you're up.
In Vikingo's defense here, technically Chad Gable started it. He was the one who decided to throw hands with him before he even came out from the barricade. It was Chad Gable who was talking smack and actually ended up getting some hits on him. And when it comes to Penta, my immediate response is, dearest Triple H, I thought we told you to keep this man away from ladders. I get it. It was honestly between the two luchadors. I get it, because there was no possible way that you were going to have Chad Gable do back-to-back matches like that. There was just no way. But we told you to keep this man away from ladders, and now you're giving him one. Stop it. No. You better hope that people aren't broke by the time this Money in the Bank match is over. Even though Solo's probably just going to start smashing through, odds are Jacob Fatu will when he qualifies, because let's be honest, he will.
I just got to make a quick correction. Toxic, he's not on the show with us, but he is on the comments. He said Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank are in the same day, and he's absolutely right. I thought it was going to be like a 2-day thing, but if Chad Gable was going to win this, then he would wrestle 2 matches the same day, but he didn't win it. But I just wanted to clarify that. Go ahead, BT.
I want to talk about the match overall, and I want to talk about one spot. When Chad was beating Penta on the table, and then all of a sudden, a fucking missile in Dragon Lee takes him out, and all you hear is Pat McAfee going, "Holy shite!" This man flew so far across that fucking ring onto the announce table, bro. He was a fucking missile. And all I can think of is Booker T going, "You call that a jumbo jet? That was like a C-130, Cole." And then Chad beats the crap out of the other guy who I can't even pronounce his name. And Michael Cole gets the shits at him. "What are you doing? Get back in the damn ring. Finish the damn match." One thing about Michael Cole I love about him is whenever he gets pissed off, he brings some of those JR vibes whenever he gets mad. Like, finish the damn match! Stop the damn match! I love that. But I'm very happy for Penta. And I'm very intrigued to experience what Penta's like in ladder matches, since I've never seen him in a ladder match before. So this is a new learning thing for me. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, good old Michael Cole. Michael Cole gets sassy. He gets sassy. He brings out that old Jim Ross. "Finish the damn match. Get in there. Hellfire and brimstone. My God, he's been broken in half." But I tell you what, man. I think this might have been my match of the night. This match was so fucking fun. And by the way, I remember sitting there like holding my breath when Penta got Dragon Lee in for the backpack. It looked like he was going to go for a backpack or perhaps a gory, and he got him in for the backpack. Looked like a backpack stunner, and then freaking he gets a pile driver on Chad Gable, and that just when he dropped him, Chad went down. His neck went back, and I held my breath. I physically was next to my wife, and I went, "Oh my God, is he okay?" And I got so scared for Chad. But Chad, the thing is, he had definitely softened that spot that got busted open later by Vikingo when Vikingo kicked him, because it was the same spot he done smashed his face on when he hit that ground. And I'll tell you what, from bell to bell, from post to post, from coast to coast, all gas, no brakes with it. This match was literally a fucking bag of fun. Everything about the match was great. And I love that as much as they had touted this incredible luchador that was Dragon Lee 2 years ago when he came up and they paired him, with Rey Mysterio, they put him in a match so he could showcase who he fucking is, man, and reminding the audience, yo, I'm great at this shit. And he was awesome from that freaking the fucking I guess it's a crazy I don't want to say it, but a self unalive dive. Let's put it that way. The missile dive, we'll put it that way for the TikTok audience. And just lawn darted himself into Chad Gable was insane. And the sad thing is Chad would have won had he just not punched Vikingo. He was winning. He would have won without him punching Vikingo. He hits that moonsault and pins. And I thought this was just great match, great setup. These guys had chemistry for days. I wouldn't be mad to see this triple threat run back at some point. This was so much fun. Sets up Vikingo and Chad for Worlds Collide. But yeah, man, this might be my match of the night. Not a single complaint about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it had a lot of extra like gaga to it with Hijo del Vikingo getting involved, which sets up the match, hypes up the match between Chad Gable and Hijo del Vikingo at Worlds Collide, and it just makes it more interesting. I want to see these two go at it now, and it doesn't have that, oh, this is just a random match put together and they're just gonna wrestle. No, like now there's something to look forward to for that match. So I think that was also really, really interesting when it not just the match itself, but the extra that came with it also. But you guys, we got good news. Liv Morgan is back. Liv Morgan is back on Raw. She showed up right when Roxanne was about to get frisky with good old Dom, and Dom got, he got caught red-handed again, getting his shoulders rubbed while he was about to eat some more chicken nuggets that was given to him by Roxanne. And Liv Morgan walks in right when that was about to happen. And I'm like, I'm all for this, man. I love the drama. I love to see Dom getting caught. Is that bad? Like, Finn Balor had the best reaction to this. He was in the background like a happy little kid. Like, oh my God, this is so cool. That was me. That was me during this segment. I was Finn Balor during this segment. I was loving this, man. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to see Liv Morgan back that soon, but I'm actually glad that she's back. Sorry, BT. But yeah, what'd you guys think about this backstage segment if you guys saw it?
What did Raquel say in Spanish? Because I couldn't understand a single fucking word she said at the end of it.
She basically said, I told you so, and you're going to pay, basically, is what she said. But who's up? I think BT, you're up first.
Okay.
3 minutes and PG.
Fuck you, blood.
TikTok language, my friend. TikTok language.
Okay. It pains me to say this, but welcome back, Liv Morgan. This fucking bitch-ass group has been needing you. Oh my God. Liv coming back, finding out that Dom has been hanging out with Roxanne, or Roxanne is trying to provoke Dominic, whatever the story is. Fuck this whole story in general. And fuck Triple H for putting Roxanne, known as the Prodigy, into this bullshit. You are just telling the simple fact that Roxanne is only fucking watchable if a man is by her fucking side. You did the same shit for over 6 months with Liv Morgan and Dominic. And now you're looking to do the same thing in a future star in Roxanne Perez. Fuck you, Triple H. I thought you would have known better, but apparently not. Fuck Triple H for that. This segment in general was fun. I'll give it that. But fuck Triple H for going in this direction.
Well, look, as far as concerned, I think the segment's fun. I find it always interesting to me that they somehow, after almost like 4 years this has been a group now through different iterations, but it's been almost 4 years that the Judgment Day has been a thing, which is crazy. Um, and I think that I find it very kind of inspired that they always find new ways to keep telling new stories with the team, and cycling in new characters to keep it fresh. I don't think it's actually a bad thing at all that Roxanne Perez is involved. In fact, I think he's doing it on purpose to help her. You got to understand, she's new on the main roster. Pardon me. She's new on the main roster. They don't probably know where to put her against anyone right now in the divisions. They're probably waiting to see what happens with the draft. So what better way than to stick her with an already established act that gets a lot of TV time, which means a lot of exposure for her, and they involve her in not one, but 2 championships business. She's involved with Dominic, and now she's going to get involved with Liv, who is also a champion. So this is good for her because it's constant exposure. Instead of shooting her up on the main roster for a couple of weeks and then she ends up in catering for 3 weeks while they figure out how to bring her back onto the roster, just like they did to Dragon Lee and dozens of others. She's all, if anything, if it was me, I'd be like, oh, thank God I'm in the Judgment Day story. I'll get at least 3 segments every single week. I'll be on TV to get to showcase what I can do, and I'll get matches out of this. I'm just thinking TV time, TV time, TV time. That's a good thing for Roxanne. I also like how they played this here, where this breakup can now feel like it's going to happen from any side. It could feel like Liv is going to cause the split and betray them. It feels like Finn could cause a betray and split them. Now it feels like Roxanne could cause the split from the inside out. And now, remember when I said it looks like they could break off into different factions? Well, you're starting to see where the cracks are folding, because Liv herself, she threw Raquel under the bus later on in the night, which we'll get to. But I like this because it's adding layers and layers and layers, because this story for a while felt like, oh, it's just going to be Finn that seals the nail in the coffin in the Judgment Day. Now it could come from 3 different places, and they're building all of those individual spots one by one simultaneously. So it could happen at any given moment from any one of the people involved. And I think that's pretty fucking cool. So I'm excited to see where this goes. But I think this is a very, very big deal for Roxanne. And before I finish, I do like, I wish the crowd would have popped for it, but Carlito was funny there with that comedic timing, man. That was funny. Man, you shouldn't be trying to eat her chicken nuggets. I thought was a hilarious innuendo, and he sold it. I just wish the crowd would have popped for it. But all in all, this is a good segment. Really good.
Oh, Liv, welcome back. But at the same time, you have impeccable timing. Over here coming back in the clubhouse, right as Roxanne is over here trying to give Dom that little shoulder massage of hers. You have impeccable timing. I love it. The little face-off between her and Dom, that little conversation. Blood, no, stop it. But that little conversation is like, yeah, I know exactly what's been going on. Raquel's been holding me up. Now, I will deal with all of those later. First, I need to figure out how to get myself a Money in the Bank qualifying match. We'll see it next week if that's even a thing. Like, overall, we will see. But with this, as Blood said, Carlito with his hilarious jab at Dom, it's like, dude, you're fucking funny. I only wish you could be in the ring at least once. Like, I know that you can't do as much as you used to, but you can still do some stuff. Like, I love Carlito, but right now, he's been more like R-Truth lately, where he's mostly a backstage comedic character. And I would love to see if he still got it in the ring.
Yeah, I'd like to add something to this, because this looks oddly familiar This is exactly, if you guys think back and you guys remember, this is exactly how Liv and Dom started with, their relationship, quote unquote. Rhea Ripley walking in on Dom, like, just getting like a massage, or, you know, letting Liv borrow his jacket and like little things like that. And what happened? What happened when they put Liv with Dom? It made Liv more interesting. It made her more like a bigger character in the show. And if you put anyone with Dominic Mysterio at this point, they're automatically gonna get over. So the you know I actually, this is the first time that I actually care about Roxanne. Like, I don't care about her. Nothing that she
Same,
didn't.
bro. Same.
Yeah. Nothing that she did in NXT to me was like groundbreaking. This is what's going to get Roxanne over with the crowd. And I'm all for this. Um, but yeah, I'm glad Liv is back. Never thought I would say that, but.
May I add something very quickly?
Mhm.
This isn't a knock on Roxanne, what Snug and I are saying, because I see it written all over our good boy BT's face. It's not that we don't like Roxanne. It's that you got to understand from a point of view of Snug and I, who've been wrestling fans for over 2 decades at this point, we have seen dozens of Roxannes. So for us, it's not, to us, there's nothing really innately special about her because we've seen her 30 times. And there's always that new prodigy, always that next up and coming talent that's the greatest thing ever. It was Paige, and then it was AJ Lee, and then it was the Bella twins, and it was Michelle McCool, and then it was Caitlyn, and then it was Tori Wilson and Trish Stratus and Lee. We've been seeing this, he and I, for over 20 years. So it's not that we don't think she's talented. It's not that we don't think she's great in the ring, but her character isn't anything new. Snarky heel who thinks she's the greatest is not new. Sorry, that's old hack. We think that this is a great way to add layers to her, really get that heel heat in her, and then give her the TV time to showcase her ability. So there's no knock on her. We just think this is finally where she actually gets to show us more of who she should be. That's all we're saying.
Well, let's talk about Rusev versus Tozawa. Why are we going to talk about this match? This was a squash match. There's nothing to say about this match. We knew Rusev was going to win. But I want to talk about this because since Rusev came back, I was really excited for Rusev's return, right? And it hasn't really been like the most exciting thing. It's kind of been whatever because of how he came in. He came in attacking Otis and Tozawa, and I think those are the only 2 matches he's had, Rusev, so far since he came back. But after this match versus Tozawa, he wouldn't let go of the hold, the hold that Rusev uses.
The Acolyte.
Thank you. And out came out an old friend, well-known companion, friend, and enemy of Rusev. Sheamus came out, and they had a nice little stare down. So I think we're finally gonna get what we've been waiting for from Rusev: a real serious feud, some real competition here. Are you guys excited at all to see this Sheamus versus Rusev at any point?
I definitely am, because about a month and a half or so ago, maybe nearly 2, myself, Snug, and Tommy did an entire special podcast where we talked about the potential return of Rusev, and we were fantasy booking the feuds we wanted to see him in. And if you haven't seen that or heard it, you can go ahead and download that. That is on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. If you want to hear our thoughts on that, it's a very good podcast. A lot of great ideas that you haven't thought of yet. But I am extremely excited for this. I know that some of you guys aren't the biggest fans of Sheamus. I am a massive Sheamus fan. I was watching it live when he debuted way back in 2009. Up to this point, I've seen every match he's ever had. I love Sheamus. My fucking second favorite match of all time is him versus Gunther at the first one at Clash of the Castle. I thought that shit was one of the best matches I've ever seen. To see, and one of the people we had talked about him going up against aside from Bronson Reed and Gunther on that podcast, we did say Sheamus. Two hard-hitting brawlers. Two, pardon me. Pardon me. Two hard-hitting brawlers. Two big, meaty men slapping meat, right? But these guys also have the ability to be very stiff in a style that they are comfortable wrestling with and won't complain about getting hit hard. So you know when you see these guys in a match, it's going to be brutal, it's going to be physical, it's going to be raw, and you're going to be like, holy shit, you know? And the cool thing about this is there's already history built in here. For a lot of you who will not remember what I'm about to say, League of Nations was a team many a moon ago that was a thrown together team because Vince has got events and said, I want all of the foreign heels to join forces, Alberto Del Rio and Wade Barrett and Sheamus and Rusev, because I got nothing else for any of you guys to do. So you're going to do random nothings together. And they didn't do fuck all for months. It was like when he threw the Core together, another group that was just the remnants of the Nexus. So the League of Nations went nowhere, but these guys were tag partners, stablemates for a while. So there's history built in, but also if you look at the roster, with everybody being busy, who possibly could be his first match that not only has real history with him, but can match his physicality in the ring? And Sheamus ain't a tapper. So that's why the Acolyte being a finishing maneuver is going to be interesting. I'm excited for this. The squash on Akira was extremely brutal, especially since I have never seen him roll anyone backwards in the Acolyte and do a half rear naked choke at the same time. So that was fucking cool. And I was like, Jesus Lord, my wife was literally like, let him go. And I thought it was awesome. So I'm extremely excited about this. This is a great first real feud for him. So yeah, let's do this shit.
The first real match for Rusev. Holy shit. You've got the past two matches, which have been squash matches, to say it lightly, because that's what they were. They were just full-on squash matches. And for Sheamus specifically to come out, holy shit. I mean, with Roman currently already busy, mentally, I'm still possibly for Rusev and Roman to run it back, because he hasn't wrestled him since the dog days with Roman. It's been a minute. But I really do want Rusev to go up against Roman at some point, because that, again, would be one hell of a match. But with Sheamus being his first real match, hell yeah. Let him at it. Let him go. Let him have a good, 30-minute match right then and there. Let him have it. That's going to be one hell of a match, for sure.
There's a saying that we say down in Australia, bring the biff. That's what I want to see between these two. I absolutely love this idea. Rusev, the Bulgarian Brute, versus Sheamus, Mr. Fight Night. I can't wait for it. I'm very excited for that match.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm pumped for this. Finally, we're gonna see Rusev get into some serious business here. Man, speaking of serious business, man, let's jump ahead to the Jey Uso segment. I thought we were gonna hear Jey Uso talk about his tag team match that he's gonna be at in Money in the Bank with Cody Rhodes versus John Cena and Logan Paul. And I thought that that's what we were going to get, but then Gunther interrupted, and I love Gunther, but I was really upset to see Gunther tonight and interrupt Jey Uso. I'm like, what the fuck? I almost forgot that they're still going to have a match, And their match, Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title, is going to happen the Monday Night Raw after Money in the Bank. But we haven't really heard much about the tag team match at Money in the Bank. It's only been one day. We'll probably hear more about it on SmackDown because that's where Cody Rhodes and John Cena is. But Money in the Bank is 2 weeks away. And I'm thinking like now is like when they should start building to Money in the Bank. But instead, they're building up the match. I guess it makes sense because the match is going to take place on Raw. But the tag team match to me is what interests me the most. But hey, that's just me. Gunther came out, tried to get in Jey Uso's head again, telling Jey Uso, hey, you're a great friend, you're a great person, you're there for your friends when they need you. However, that's going to bite you in the ass as a champion. That's not going to help you. Unlike me, I only care about myself, and that's what makes a great champion. But no matter what Gunther tried to tell Jey Uso here, Jey Uso, he's confident. He's not backing down, and he's ready. He's ready for Money in the Bank, and he's ready for Gunther, and he promised Gunther that he's going to make him tap again. Do you guys, I mean, we saw this match at WrestleMania. We're going to see it again. Are you guys looking forward to this match? Do you guys think that Gunther might have a chance here? Or what are you guys, what were you guys' thoughts about this segment here?
I think Gunther will give him a run for his money, but I still do not think that Gunther is getting that title back. As much as I love Gunther, I don't think that's happening yet. He just got it at WrestleMania, and I get it, that was like 2 months ago, but still, he just got it at WrestleMania. I don't see him losing it anytime soon. I just don't. And when Gunther came out, I'm like, oh God, what's he going to say? Then he starts going on and on. It's like, I only care about myself. I'm like, yeah, clearly. Where the hell is Ludwig Kaiser been? Tell me that. Where's Kaiser been?
I know.
He hasn't been on in a minute. Where's Kaiser at?
With Tiffany Stratton? Locked up in a hotel room somewhere?
Yes. Blood. No. No. Bad blood. No. But I do love Jey Uso's response right after Gunther stopped talking. He's just like, are you done? Are you done? Let me talk. Are you done now? Like, Jey is so good at also getting into people's heads. But what Gunther doesn't understand quite yet, as he's going to continuously try to get back into his head, it's just not going to work. Jey with Gunther, he's not going to get back into Jey's head. There's just no way. And that was proven at WrestleMania, where he kept on trying to get in there fully to the point where it would get Jey off his game, but it never did. It only made him stronger. That's what Gunther needs to understand. It's the fact that you can try to get into his head, but once you're there, it's only going to make him stronger. It's not going to get him off his game like you think it's going to.
My only criticism about this promo was during the end. Jey, why are you playing with the crowd when you are supposed to be focusing on a man who has tested you in that ring in the past? That is my only criticism about this. Yes, you made him tap out at WrestleMania, but Gunther is looking for revenge on your ass. You should be locked in. You should be doing this to the temple of your head. Because what the fuck happened when you did that at WrestleMania? You fucking paid attention, expanded your moveset, and fucking won. Now the cockiness is getting into Jey Uso's head. I'm not saying that it will cost him the title, but if he doesn't pull his fucking head out of his ass, it's going to cost him at some point in the future. That is my only criticism about this promo. It was right at the end. It was fine until that point. Jay, please pay attention. Because bruh. That's my only criticism.
Bruh.
Yeah, I'm going somewhere else completely different with this one, boys. I didn't like the segment at all. And it's one of the first times where I didn't like it because of Jay. Jay was not on his game tonight. We all have off nights. Everybody's got an off night. He lost his way in that promo. He stumbled over his words. He got a couple of his words wrong. And BT, the reason he was interacting with the crowd was because he forgot what he was going to say. And so he was buying time by pandering to the audience so he could get enough time to think about the next thing he wanted to say. That's why there was a good 15 seconds where he stopped talking and just started pacing back and forth because he lost his promo. He drew a blank. So he had an off night. I thought the entire segment was bad because Jay lost his rhythm in the promo. And I think everybody could see that he seemed like he had just drew a blank for no reason. That being said, I think that as far as it's concerned with them building to this Monday Night Raw match, the Monday after, I believe, Money in the Bank, is for a very specific purpose. And this is where we're going to diverge here, guys. I'm extremely nervous and worried that Jay is not walking out of Monday Night Raw with that World Heavyweight Championship. I think there's a very specific reason that they put him and Gunther versus each other the Monday after, because I think they're going to have a barn burner of a main event. And then whomever, and I thought it'd be LA Knight. Now I am damn near certain it's Seth Rollins is winning the Money in the Bank for the second time in his career. And I think not only is he going to interfere in this match, he's not even going to wait for a winner. He's going to have Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker go down there, beat the hell out of both guys towards the end of the match, and they are so gassed. He's going to cash in, stomp Jay, and steal the title. I think that's literally what's going to happen here because he's already talking about needing the title to have the power. They're trying to build him up as the biggest threat. They're trying to build this group as the biggest deal in WWE right now. This is the big thing. They've even got Roman Reigns involved in this story, as is CM Punk. They're going to put that title on Rollins. And I hate that it's at the expense of a short title run from Jay. I hope he gets to win it back later, but I got a bad feeling, guys. I think Jay loses that World Heavyweight Championship 2 Raws from now.
Damn, that's wild. I mean, Jay, he's only had one successful title defense, and it was at Saturday night's main event versus Logan Paul. I don't see Jey Uso losing it on his second title defense, but we'll see what happens. We'll do a prediction episode on that. No, because it's a Monday Night Raw. We don't do predictions for Monday Night Raw. You might be right.
The world is up with the Samoan cousins specifically and completely forgetting what the hell they're going to say. First, it was Roman during that promo battle against John Cena, and now it's Jey Uso against Gunther. What the hell,
Well,
man?
to be fair, I think Jey Uso did a pretty good job of recovering himself, getting himself back together, and he ended the promo strongly. I mean, I did notice that he kind of like slipped up a little bit, but like, I mean, I think he made up for it, you know?
Not the worst promo it's not the worst promo ever because normally he's a great promo. He gets very into it with his emotions, but after that first stumbling, and I think it's because he keeps doing that whole let's run it back on the yeet thing, and he keeps running himself out of breath. And I think he was out of breath and he lost his cadence, couldn't recover, needed to get the crowd to help him fucking buy some time after Gunther laid down the law on his ass. And then all of a sudden, he said one word, forgot, messed up another word, paused, paced for 15 seconds, and said, "You know what? I fight for them having my back." And then he went from saying that to, "And you know what? I'm gonna tap your ass out again. 4 letters, 1 word, yeet." And then he walked off. He didn't even recover strong. He went from fucking up to, "Hey, crowd interaction, I'm gonna tap you out," and then he left. That was it.
Yeah. Also, too, I'm gonna say it. We as fans in the year of 2025, we have to know when to participate and when to shut the fuck up. Because there's been a few times that Jey Uso does this to the crowd. Like, hey, stop yeeting and let me say what I have to say. And it's the same thing with the what chants. Like,
He literally wants to cut a serious promo and they won't let him.
yeah.
Like, I've noticed that too. He tries to lay down a serious promo where he feels the energy. You can, because he always does the thing when he's in the mode, he leans forward. He goes, "Now listen here." And then they start going. He goes like this. "Now listen here." And then he's got to stop again. He's trying to show them that, yo, I'm about to dice this person up. The fans won't let him because they just want to be so involved. And that's fine. You paid your money to be involved. But at the expense of you getting to experience a great story, maybe give it a second. You know?
Yeah.
Let him cook for you.
Yeah.
That was the first things that Jay did. As soon as Gunther stopped talking, fans started yeeting, and he's just like, "Yo, cool it down, babe. Cool it down."
Yeah, and I get that they're pros, right? I get that the crowd shouldn't affect their performance on the mic or whatever, that they should be able to work around that or whatever, but also at the same time, like, let him talk, bro. Just let him talk. But anyways, moving on. Another thing that usually I skip through, and I'm talking about Becky Lynch, because Lyra Valkyrie and Becky Lynch are going to go at it once again at Money in the Bank for the fucking 49th time this year, it seems like. However, I don't know if it's because Lyra Valkyrie has gotten over with me. That might be because of Becky Lynch, because I really, really don't like Becky Lynch at all whatsoever. So I want to see Lyra Valkyrie beat her for the 3rd time. I'm hoping that's what happens. But I thought Lyra Valkyrie's explanation as to why she's accepting a 3rd match versus Becky Lynch works. Because Becky Lynch, even though Lyra has beaten her 2 times, Becky Lynch is still walking around like hot shit. Lyra's not satisfied with beating her 2 times. She wants to beat her again to basically shut her mouth. And this time it got personal. This time, you talk shit or you did something in front of my fiance. That's not cool. Becky Lynch comes out and some more personal shots were taken. They brought up Seth Rollins. Lyra said, "Oh, you mean the guy that the only talented thing about you, Becky, is your husband, Seth Rollins." Okay. Now it's getting a little bit interesting here for me, and I actually want to see this match again. Did you guys have any thoughts about this segment with Lyra and Becky?
I did not like this promo. I was just bored of this entire rivalry. It's just not interesting to me anymore. And especially when Becky said, after I win, when I beat you for that title, you know how I raised your hand and acknowledged you at NXT when you beat me for the NXT title, which I stole from Tiffany Stratton for no fucking reason other than just to be a Grand Slam champion? I want you to raise my hand after being the next Women's Intercontinental Champion. I'm like, really? Really? I'm not interested in this at all. Bruh. I'm not interested.
Bruh.
Look, I actually enjoyed this promo, but I only enjoyed Becky's side of it. I did like Lyra's explanation. It makes sense not having that satisfaction. I beat you once, but it was only a roll up. I beat you again, but I did it with a roll up. And you stood tall that night, and I went to the hospital, and you got to go home, even though I want, like I understand feeling like you need a definitive 1, 2, 3. I knocked your ass out 3 count, not just these roll ups, because in the world of professional wrestling, a roll up is seen as a non definitive victory because people can call it a fluke. You got lucky, you didn't actually put me down for the 3. You rolled me up for the 3. I could have still kept going. So I get it. I did like Becky saying, the only thing, I'm the best thing that ever happened to you, which is true. In the professional wrestling world, the biggest thing that Lyra's ever done is compete with and against Becky Lynch. That's the accolade of her career, a future Hall of Famer here. But also she said, I'm the best thing that's ever happened to that Intercontinental Championship. Again, extremely true, because that thing got introduced almost a year ago, and it's meant fuck all since up until Becky came back. Before Becky went on her hiatus, the original plan was for them to have this feud last year. So they've been in a holding pattern with Lyra as the champion this entire time. And if that was the case, you should have put it on Dakota Kai or Zoe Stark or anybody else that was in that tournament, and then have them lose it to Lyra later when Becky came back, and then tell the story if that's what you wanted to do. It might have had more steam under it, more legs behind it, but no. I did like the line Lyra said where she said, I'll beat you like I did last time. I'll beat you again. And I did that with my eyes closed. I thought that was a bar. That was definitely one hell of a line. But I thought Becky's acting and delivery in this promo was superb. Heel Becky before in the past comes off kind of cartoony because she's Irish, and Irish people are very animated people. And sometimes in her promos, she kind of flutters around like a Muppet when she gets flustered, if you notice. She really does, especially when she was the last time she was a heel and she was trying to dress like the female Seth Rollins. But I thought tonight it worked here. It's not just that she's fucking heel. She's losing it, She's losing it, which I thought was a great touch. I don't care about seeing this match again. I was hoping it was over the last time they versed. If we can please move on. And honestly, the crowd couldn't give half a fuck about Lyra. She's got to beg them for interaction. So put the title on Becky and let's move on.
Blood, I think you're getting what you just said. I have this scary feeling that Lyra is not walking out of Money in the Bank Intercontinental Champion because of one singular sentence. If I lose, I will not ask for another title defense or title challenge. I will not challenge for it again. I have this scary feeling that with that sentence alone, you've got exactly what you wanted there, Blood. I don't think Lyra is walking out of Money in the Bank Intercontinental Champion. That one phrase alone sent a shiver down my spine. And as soon as she said that, I'm like, Lyra's not going out as champion, is she? She's losing that title, isn't she? Like that's just the feeling I have. And honestly, it's probably the best thing to happen. Because as Blood said, that title has meant pretty much nothing. The mid-card titles in general, when it comes to the women's division, have meant shit all. Like, Intercontinental, not much there. United States title, literally just put it on Zelina Vega just for a markup. For a ratings markup. That's it. That is the only reason why you put that United States title on Zelina Vega. And I have this feeling that Lyra's title reign is ending next Saturday. I just have that feeling.
And I'd like to add the main reason I believe it's over for Lyra's reign, Becky's already put her over twice. So now it's time for the reverse.
Yeah.
Becky Hogan, y'all. Nope, Becky Lynch has to do the job 3 times for Lyra to prove to me, Becky, prove it to me that you are not Becky Hogan, that you are a team player, that you're willing to put over the young talent.
She put her over twice already. Here's the problem. When a talent like Becky puts over a younger talent, it's supposed to give that younger talent the rub. Becky's put her over twice, and they still don't give a shit about Lyra.
That's not true. That's not true. I care about Lyra now.
Buddy, she's one of the few champions that walks out there, and the crowd goes mild.
They're starting to jump on the bandwagon. They're starting to do the woo, or what's she do?
Okay, so her entrance theme is over. Fantastic.
And you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere.
She's been the champ for how many months?
Do it, Becky. Do the right thing, Becky. Don't be a punk.
No, put it on Becky so Bayley can vie for it when she comes back. Then we'll get 2 horsewomen versus each other for the Intercontinental Championship, because that's what they're building to. And I guarantee you they're building to it for SummerSlam.
Why can't Bayley come after it with Lyra?
Because Becky took her out.
God damn it. I don't know, man. I hope you guys are wrong. If we have time, we'll do predictions for Money in the Bank probably next week. But let's move on to the main event, you guys. Another triple threat match, the second triple threat match of the night. Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor. What a great main event this was. Just those 3 guys, top WWE talent. Well, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor and then Sami Zayn. But yeah, another match that had it all. It had a lot of drama. It had a lot of action. It had a lot of things to look forward to. This group with Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, I knew that they had to interfere at some point. And right when you thought that Sami Zayn was going to get the win, he was going to take that power that Seth Rollins was coming for, and Sami Zayn wanted to go to the Money in the Bank, despite what Karrion Kross had to say backstage. You're never going to win the title. Sami Zayn was so close, but Braun Breaker at the very last second pulled the referee out of the ring. And we also had Dom come out, throw a chair in the ring, but it was a horrible pass. Like, you had Finn Balor and I believe it was Seth Rollins in the ring, and instead of Dom throwing the chair to Finn, he threw it right in the middle, and Seth Rollins took advantage, stomped Finn Balor on the chair. 1, 2, 3, Seth Rollins is moving on, and he's advancing to the Money in the Bank, and he's one of the top players in this Money in the Bank to actually win this damn thing now. I wasn't sure who I was rooting for here, because I love Finn Balor, but Finn Balor, he's not really known to win a whole lot of matches, so I'm not surprised he didn't win it. I guess I'm kind of glad. I'm happy with this outcome. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to seeing Seth Rollins in this Money in the Bank. But thoughts on the main event? I forgot who's up.
All right. First things first, I love the match. I love that it got a lot of time. I love that it slow burned in It was a little slow in the beginning because they were all kind of jockeying for position. Picks up quite a bit in the middle, then really hits that whole extra gear in the third act of the match. Yeah, you're right. Like, we had to have the other two guys come out. I'm waiting for Seth to name this stable so we can stop having to call them all by name every single time, one by one. Just give the group a fucking name, please. The Visionaries or some shit. I don't know. But like, as far as it's concerned, I thought the match was fun. Again, would have loved to see Finn win just because, why not? But at the same time, I knew Sammy wouldn't, even though I wanted him to. Thought the match was great. I 100% believe Dominic Mysterio did that on purpose. At this point, I am in complete belief that Dom is wise to Finn. He has been refusing to help and show up and help him in matches for weeks now. He just got in trouble with Liv off some shit that Finn set up, and he caught Finn laughing at him. And I think 100% he tricked Finn. He's playing mind games because he's doing exactly what Eddie would have done. Set him up. And he set him up, got his face curb stomped into a chair for his troubles. Only thing about this match that I was like, bruh, and y'all know I love my boy Punk. You know that Christ M. Punk can do no wrong in my eyes. He could punch an old lady in the face live on TV, and I'd be like, well, what did she say to him? But like, as far as it is concerned, bro, you couldn't come out like a minute and 5 seconds earlier. You had to wait until you let your arch enemy, your blood feud enemy, win the match, and then you GTS him. If you had come out a minute and 5 seconds earlier, you could have stopped him. You could have GTS'd him right after he stomped Finn. And Sammy wouldn't have gotten the win, but Finn could have at least crawled to the victory. So at least you don't want to help Finn, but you still screw Seth. You just had to wait, didn't you? You needed that Instagram or a farming moment, didn't you, Punk? I love you, but come on, damn it. Why did you let Jey Uso go out there on his own to handle business? You should have been out there with him. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, it could have been resolved by like a minute and 5 seconds. But hell if I know. Punk was probably in the bathroom taking a piss and washing his hands like, oh shit, I got to go out there and stop these guys. And then Jay got up. What the hell is you, man? I was washing my hands. But I thought great match, great finish. And if we're being honest, the right guy did win story-wise. Having Seth in that match adds this air of fear. Fear for Jay's championship. Like I said, I think at this point, when we do predictions, at this point, I'm sign, sealing, and delivering it now. Seth Rollins wins Money in the Bank, and he's going to cash in that next Monday and stomp fucking Jay's head into the ground and steal that championship. And then we are really in a new era with this group. And then next, he's going to send Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker after those tag team championships. And they're going to run through the New Day. And they're going to all be champions. And then that's how it's going to go from there.
All right. So I am completely with Blood when it comes to Punk's timing. Holy crap, you should have come out earlier. Because overall, you would have gotten away with it. It's no DQ because it's a triple threat. You absolutely would have gotten away with it. But of course, he wanted to wait until the other two were after the other two. The theme hits. It's like, no. Okay, screw those two. Both of you. Ramp. Now. Stop him. Only for Punk to just go, oh, you sent them there. You really thought I'd make it that easy, didn't you? Only for him to pick him up and do that GTS. I do also wish that it was a little bit earlier. That it was during the match. Because like I said, he literally would have gotten away with it. It would not have costed Sammy anything. whatsoever. Now, when it comes to Dom, my biggest thing is this. Of course, the moment he comes out to help for the first time in weeks, you screw Finn over. Of course, you screw the man that you pinned the Intercontinental Championship for. You literally pinned Finn Balor, and now you two are kind of in like a mini rivalry backstage without it being like a rivalry. It's like mid-ground with it. And I love that. Because at some point, I know for a fact that next week that's probably going to be brought up by Finn. And once it is, that little conversation's going to happen. And then Liv is going to bring up her issues, because of course she will, especially when it comes to Roxanne, in which she's also going to be talking to Raquel for screwing her over. So, yeah, we will overall see how the Judgment Day goes. But let's be honest, here soon you should probably just dismantle it altogether.
Fuck me. If I say what I want to say about this whole fucking situation, one, our TikTok live access won't be available to us anymore. And two, we'll be stuck here for at least 10 minutes. So I am going to just sit on the sideline for this, and I'll make a TikTok video on it on my account, BT Knight. Make sure to follow me on there. And I will let out my frustration in that video to basically save us from possibly getting banned. So.
All right, fair enough. Well, with the main event match, we have 4 spots in the men's Money in the Bank that have been filled, and we have 2 more spots left. So far, we have Seth Rollins, Penta, Solo Sikoa, and LA Knight. So that's 4 out of 6 positions for the Money in the Bank. And for the women's side, we have Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne, and Julia. We have about 2 weeks until Money in the Bank. 2 more spots for both men's and women's matches. And yeah, man, we have a lot to look forward to, I feel like, when it comes to Money in the Bank. But with that being said, you guys, that was a review for Monday Night Raw. Let's get the fuck up out of here, y'all. My name is Edgar. I'm the host. Thanks to the Snug crew for helping me with this review. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.
4 letters. 1 word.